Welcome to the Dr. Jimbo Love Show featuring Seth Matthew, my main man over here.
How's everybody doing today?
All right, and we're going to do just a little preview just to let you know a little bit about what we're going to cover tomorrow. Remember, we do 2 shows on Saturday. We do a first part and a second part. So please tune in if you can't be at Brothers in the shops of Northfield to see us do the show live. We do it between 11 and 1 every Saturday up in the mezzanine section.
Yes, we do, and that's where we are right now here at Brothers Bar and Grill at the shops at Northfield, out in the beautiful state of Colorado.
Oh, it's gorgeous outside today,
Oh,
isn't
it really is. After we just got some snow, it's already feeling like we're back into spring.
Yeah, it's snowball weather.
Yeah, I got hit by one today. Spencer threw one and it hit me right in the back.
Oh my goodness! See, I still throw snowballs too. I thought that it was just me that was over 50 throwing snowballs. But you guys are still young. You're in your 30s. All right, so we're going to talk a lot of college hockey tomorrow. We've got some incredible different matchups. One being, of course, our hometown, University of Denver, DU, versus number 6, Western Michigan. Now, DU is sitting currently at number 3. So this is a kind of a game, and by the way, if you want to watch the game, you can come to Brothers, and they'll have it streaming here, correct?
Yep.
On which channel will it be? ESPN Plus? Or?
So this one, since it's a 3-6 matchup, I have to check the schedule because they may nationally televise this game just because it is such a good matchup. While we're highlighting a lot of these games is we're getting into crunch time, going into playoffs for these teams. Right now, Denver is predicted to get a 1 seed. Now, I need to explain that to people. There are 4 1 seeds, so they're one of the 4. Western Michigan is also up for a 1 seed, so this is going to be a great test right here and could be a future matchup.
See, that's what I was just going to say. This is as close to a Frozen 4 matchup as you're going to find left in this regular season. Some other games on the East Coast that we're going to feature is Cornell University is playing in Ithaca, Lina Rink. They are playing against St. Lawrence tonight, and tomorrow they will play against Clarkson. Now, Clarkson is ranked, I think, 10th right now. There's 3 polls, so it's so hard to know exactly what poll to actually do. I mean, college hockey needs to consolidate their polls so that we're talking, the same numbers.
Yeah.
But Clarkson's good, and tell them a little bit about the other ones.
Yeah, so North Dakota is going to end up going to Duluth. Now, this is a great matchup because both are chasing DU in the standings. And right now, they're going to have great impacts. Now, unfortunately, the North Dakota player that was killing it for that USA up in the Olympics, he is injured, so he will not return. But that leads me to my good matchup of St. Cloud State, getting all their players back. Perevics and Sam Henches will be returning with the head coach against Nebraska Omaha in Nebraska. Now, this team is going to be a tough match for St. Cloud State because they've been hovering around the 20 area in the rankings all year. They're not in that spot right now. But they have been a tough matchup for North Dakota and other teams in the division.
Where's that game going to be? Is that at the Ralph?
No, for the Nebraska.
Cloud.
Nope, we're going. So the Ralph's
No. Oh, okay. My fault.
We're going to go to Nebraska Omaha.
Sorry about that. I was looking at the next one here with Minnesota Duluth.
Oh nope, they're going up to Duluth.
Okay.
And then we also have one more matchup. That we chose to do is another East Coast matchup. It's going to be number 20 Connecticut versus number 10 Massachusetts in Massachusetts. Now, the reason why I picked that game is because Taylor McCarr, he hasn't done much this year, he's a rookie, but he is Cale McCarr's brother on the Colorado Avalanche, and he's a freshman forward for UMass.
Right on. I love that. That's smart because then we can tie into what we're going to talk about here, which is the NHL games.
Yeah, the NHL. Right now, we have the Minnesota Wild trailing the Avs in the number 1 for the West. Right now, the Wild have kind of a tough matchup. They have Edmonton Oilers, who are fighting to get up in the rankings. They're sitting around the 7 and 8 spot right now. Then they have an easy one with Ottawa, and then a tough test with this Toronto Maple Leafs team. If you guys get a chance, you need to watch the Amazon Prime It's the COVID year for Toronto, but it's basically the hard knocks of hockey,
Oh, no
and it
kidding.
is awesome.
Now, is that on ESPN, or where can we find that?
Right now, it's on Amazon Prime.
Oh, it's Amazon Prime.
Yeah, Amazon Prime has done a lot. They've done some rugby
Okay.
ones. They've done a mixture of hockey. I just love watching those because you get a little bit more of the background of the team.
Sure.
And then we're going to follow it up with our Colorado Avalanche, who are #1 in the NHL, and
they
nobody's touching them.
Yep.
They have a long road trip coming ahead. They have 3 straight games on the road, going to Buffalo, Boston, and Detroit. Now that Boston one's going to be a doozy, and we'll talk a little bit of that matchup because they do have a player suspended for punching a goalie in the back of the head. So,
Really?
Yep. So he's got the most suspensions in the
Why would you
NHL
punch him in
history.
the back of the head when he's got a helmet on?
Well, they probably were talking trash. If you ever see the movie Slapshot, you know there's always chirping going on in hockey that you don't get to see as a fan.
The Hanson brothers. Didn't you grow up with one of their uncles or something like that?
Oh yeah, no. My next door neighbor is good friends with the Hanson brothers that were the actors in the movie, and they were awesome dudes, really cool dudes. I've seen every single Slapshot there was, but the first one by far was the best.
Well, the first one was shot in 1977. Okay, well actually it was released in 77. In 1976, when they were shooting the movie, Johnstown, Pennsylvania is where this whole thing takes place. Matter of fact, when you see the scene with the dog, that dog is from the flood that took out Johnstown in 1889. I was there as a 10-year-old boy watching them film it. Then, not only that, but they came to the Binghamton Arena, and they did some of the games that you see there are from the arena, because the arena was pretty new back then. And so I have a very, very, just a warm spot in my heart for Slapshot. And if you haven't seen it, it's Paul Newman. Paul Newman does a great job, and the Hanson brothers, you won't be able to forget them because they're portrayed as a triplet, and they're a bunch of goons.
Yeah, it's awesome. And that's going to lead us into the next part of our show, which is going to go into the Olympics.
Yes.
We're going to talk a little bit about medal counts. Currently, United States is sitting 5th. Not the best showing we've ever hoped for. We only have 8 golds this year. Doesn't look like a lot in sight. We had the United States lose in curling when we were the men's curling was the old gold medal winner. Well, they got eliminated by Canada. We also had
USA Hockey.
USA Hockey took #1 in the round robin stage, beating Canada, and then lose to Slovenia. Canada even got knocked out of the first round elimination round. So no United States or Canada.
What about our women's team? They played Canada for the gold. I fell asleep during the game.
Yep, so we lost.
We did.
Canada had beat us twice in this tournament. That's a great matchup, though. United States women and the Canadian women, they meet in the championship a lot. Typically, it's one or the other is going to win gold pretty much every time.
Yeah, now that USA Hockey, the women's final, they really did a nice job building it up. And what I really liked about it was you had 2 alumni from the '98 gold medal team. And I wish I could remember their names, but they both handled themselves so professionally, and they were actually doing some commentating work for NBC. So it was nice to see, a different generation of ladies that were talking about the current generation. And it was really neat how when they went into the locker room, the current teammates treated them so well. And I think that kind of tradition is just really great.
Yeah. And right now, Norway is dominating the medal count, up by 3 medals. They have 14 golds, 7 silvers, and 8 bronze.
Wow.
We are going to talk. #2 is Russia. They are sitting at #2 with 26 medals, 5 golds, 9 silvers, 12 bronze. And that's going to lead us to our second part, or it could be our first part, depending where
we haven't decided yet.
So, of our show, we're going to talk about the controversy going on in the Olympics, because in the Summer Olympics, we had a United States track athlete, Sha'Carri Richardson. Her mom had passed away, and she smoked marijuana, and she was not allowed to compete. Now, Russia in this Winter Olympics had Kamila Valieva, and she is 15 years old. She's considered a protected person, so not all rules apply to her.
Right.
But she took what she says was her grandparents' heart medication, which helps you improve your endurance, and it gives you an edge in the Olympics.
So she was cheating.
She was cheating, but what happened was a little bit 2 different things. Sha'Carri Richardson's test came out early, so she was suspended. Well, Camilla's didn't come till mid-Olympics.
Right.
And the Russian Olympic Committee suspended her. She appealed. And since she's a protected person, they allowed her to participate. So now we're arguing of a double standard for athletes.
Yeah. Well, tomorrow's show is going to be really interesting because Seth is going to delve into this, and he's going to give us we're going to have two different sides to it. I really feel bad for someone who gets popped for marijuana.
Yeah.
Because there's so many states now where it's legal, and the bad thing about marijuana, if you guys know, is drug tests. Marijuana, the THC is fat soluble. So what happens is when you smoke it or if you ingest it, it stays in your fat cells for almost 30 days. If they do a hair test, it can be in your hair until your hair grows all the way out and you cut it.
Yeah.
It's just, I think it's about time that if we have states that are legalizing marijuana, that we just let it go.
Yeah, and I mean, it's an interesting controversy going on because it is weird that one athlete was continued to participate and one was held out. Sha'Carri Richardson did take full responsibility for her actions and she admitted to it. One thing I'm going to dive into is why the test results were so late. Because Sha'Carri Richardson's came back instantly that she failed. And the Russian athlete, Kamila Valieva, her test results took forever to come back to the point of she already competed in an entire event before they came back. Yeah. Which I would think before you compete that you need all drug tests back. So I'm not sure what happened there or why it was delayed.
Interesting. Well, you know that the Russians have been cheating in the Olympics all the way back to Rocky IV and Drago.
Well,
okay.
And he's not lying that Russian has been caught doping before because if we do go over the medal count, there is no Russia in the medal count. It is ROC. They are not allowed to participate in the Olympics under their flag. But they did kind of put a little protest together this year. In the opening ceremony, they all wore the Russian gear, which that's not allowed. And there was no punishment that I heard of come out from it. Yeah. But they weren't supposed to. And they said, you know what? It's been a while. We're doing it. And wouldn't you know, another doping scandal comes right after it.
No kidding. There seems to be a lot of different kind of protests. The Canadian truckers are protesting up there. Unfortunately, they're being arrested right now because of the martial law that Justin Trudeau has put in. So we just want to say that hang in there. Everybody that's involved up there, it's a tough situation, and we just want to wish for a peaceful resolution to the conflict.
Yeah.
But interesting to say, one thing, if you guys remember back in the 70s and early 80s, before they could really test, Seth can't remember.
I wasn't there.
But just to let you know that when the Soviet bloc countries, like East Germany and all of those different satellite countries, they were notorious for steroids. Mm-hmm. And it gave them a very huge, just a huge advantage over the Americans and everyone else in the world. So this is nothing new to the Olympics. It's happened many times before. Now, what's happening is, these athletes are playing a game against science, in a sense. Science has to catch up, and you can see it in bicycling, in the cycling sports. Lance Armstrong doped all the way through, but he was able to circumvent things and not get caught.
Yeah.
Eventually, he did. Science will catch up with you. I don't condone any of that. I don't think if you're cheating, you should not be a part of being able to play it. What do you think about that?
I agree that you shouldn't be able to cheat, but I do understand why some countries decide to do it. They want the recognition that they have dominant athletes. Because you think about this, even though the United States lost and Canada lost, if our pros were there, would we be gone? No. Right. We would be running into a gold, silver medal. Nobody holds a torch to us in these sports. Same with the NBA. A lot of our athletes are opting out. We don't hold NBA players away. But we've been going with a lot of college guys sprinkled with some pros because a lot of guys they want to enjoy their off season, and they, we don't have the dream team anymore.
No. Well, the dream team was an anomaly because in 1992 it was the first year that they allowed professional athletes into the Olympics. Mm-hmm. Before that, you remember that amateur status considered by the Olympics was basically you could not get any kind of sponsorship. You couldn't have an agent. Bruce Jenner in 1976 when he got on that Wheatie box, that was his biggest paycheck of his entire life. Of course, until he married the Kardashians.
Yep.
So good. Well, we're excited. Tune in tomorrow. If you want to come down to Brothers, please do. We'll be here all day long.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff on TV. There's a lot of great college basketball. We may highlight some of the games that are coming up, but we're really not going to delve into college basketball for probably a couple weeks until we really get close to championship week, and then of course we'll be full on for the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, we're gonna really dive into this college hockey tournament coming up, and you know what? When March Madness goes on, I love March Madness because I know college football has an issue with allowing more teams in the college football championship, but I love college basketball for one reason, and it's because they allow so many teams in. You get to know teams you've never heard of.
Oh, yeah.
You get to hear the Loyola Chicagos of the world, who always
they were the play-in. That was the play-in team that made it to the Final Four.
And they had what was her name? Sister.
It was Sister, but she was there. And the guys went over and they, gave her a kiss, or what would they do with her? It was really nice.
Yeah, and so she, you always get these heartwarming stories. You always get these underdogs. If you guys remember right, Steph Curry came from Davidson. They really haven't made it far ever since he left, but he made it to a Final Four and he crushed it. Yes, so it's really a good opportunity to see what's going to go into the NBA.
Oh, it's amazing. Now remember, there's 64 teams in the tournament, but they have 4 play-in games, okay? So really it ends up being 68 teams that will qualify to play. And what's good about it is you've got 3 full weekends. You've got the 2 games each weekend, and it stretches out over a 3-week period. It's awesome.
You get to watch basketball anytime, every time of the day. I love it.
And with sports betting this year?
Yeah, sports betting is always going to be fun.
I got to tell you guys, Seth got me to download the DraftKings app, and I made my first bet.
Did you win?
I lost both of them. I did 2 $5 parlays on the Super Bowl and lost them both, but I'll tell you what, I actually really enjoyed watching the Super Bowl because I had money on the game.
Yeah, and it never has to be a lot of money. Just having $5, $10 here. Yeah. I know guys that put a lot more down, but for me, if the odds are playing and I'm happen to be at the game, I'll put $5 on it, maybe win.
No,
$8
you turned me
or
on.
Something.
Seth and I had a point counterpoint. I was against it, and you know what? Tomorrow I'm going to sit here. I'll probably come over after the show. I'll be here after the show, and I'm going to basically pick Seth's brain and all the other great sports minds that sit at the bar here at Brothers, and I'm going to make up a parlay bet tomorrow.
Which, so people know, it wasn't a thing a couple years ago. College hockey is now on DraftKings, so you can bet on Denver going up to Western Michigan.
Right, you
can bet on St. Cloud State playing Nebraska.
And we're very lucky. We're in one of the states where we can actually win real money.
Yeah.
So even those that are watching from states where you don't have the ability to do it, I'm telling you, it's a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun watching the Super Bowl because my parlay, and it was just brief, but I had Culp from LA catching a touchdown pass. I had both quarterbacks going over 300 yards passing because I thought it was going to be a lot more explosive Super Bowl. That's the other thing, too. We're going to talk a little bit about the Super Bowl and what Seth and I predicted. Seth and I both picked the Rams. We just picked different points. I said it was going to be 35-17. Seth said it was going to be 31-24. What did it end up being, 24-21?
Yep.
So they did not cover. The 48 points they did not cover. That was another one of my bets.
But yeah, if you guys find yourself near, come down to Brothers. We got great drink specials. We're going to have all the games on. And you know what? Catch the show, stay a bit, talk with us after. Get some of our amazing food. I like to describe it as Midwest comfort bar food. We have some amazing cheese curds and some amazing wings. So come on down, come say hi to us.
Excellent. I just had the fish tacos. They have these Baja fish tacos that will knock your socks off.
Oh yeah, they're delicious.
They're spicy, and they have 2 different types of sauces you can put on it. They come with a black beans and then a rice kind of pilaf or whatever.
Yeah, Spanish rice.
Spanish rice, okay.
Yep.
And I'll tell you what, I'll order that again in a heartbeat. Excellent. All right, so tomorrow, 11 to 1 at Brothers at the shops in Northfield, or you can stream us on YouTube, Spotify, Facebook, LinkedIn, Rumble, all of them. Just look for us, type in Dr. Jimbo Love Show, featuring Seth Matthew, or just put in Dr. Jimbo Love Show. You'll get about halfway through, and then our shows should pop up.
Yeah.
If you go to YouTube, you can see all of our old shows. Feel free to subscribe to our channel. It's free for now. We're going to have to start charging. I'm just teasing. YouTube. We're kidding. And but anyways, tomorrow we'll be on 11 to 1, and we look forward to seeing you. Look for part 1 and part 2. Seth, take us out.
Yeah, come on down. Let's have some fun, and you know what? Let's enjoy some great beer and some great food.
Absolutely, man. Great.